Welcome to the Greyhaven Tower, where we wander through Tolkien's quietest wood and listen for the voices that take time to speak. Today, we turn to Fangorn, to Treebeard, oldest of the living things that still walk beneath the sun. He is no king, no warrior, and yet his words may be the most ancient wisdom left in Middle-earth. Through him, Tolkien asks, what does goodness look like when the world has forgotten how to wait? In this reflection, we'll explore how the Ents embody the memory of creation itself, Treebeard's slow speech, and what it teaches us about time, the grief that shaped his wisdom, and how his awakening turns patience into purpose. This is the wisdom of Treebeard, time, speech, and the slow good. He introduces himself without pride. I am not going to tell you my name, not yet at any rate. Names for him are living histories, too long for haste. He remembers the first raindrops and the first acorn. Tolkien calls him the eldest of the living things that still walk under the sun upon this Middle-earth. Treebeard is the voice of ages that moves slower than any man or elf. Through him, time itself feels heavy, layered with memory, not minutes. It takes a long time to say anything in old Entish, and we never say anything unless it's worth taking a long time to say. To him, words are acts of care. Modern speech is too quick. It breaks the world into fragments. Entish restores it, binding word and thing, sound and truth. Tolkien, a philologist, knew this longing. Language as something sacred, not efficient. Treebeard speaks slowly because he refuses to wound meaning. When the hobbits tell him of Saruman's machines and the trees cut down in Fangorn, something ancient stirs. He has a mind of metal and wheels, Treebeard says, and he does not care for growing things, except as far as they serve him for the moment. That line is Tolkien's quiet manifesto, the cry of creation against domination. Treebeard calls the Ent moot, and after days of thought, the forest itself begins to move. The slow good finally wakes. Treebeard's wisdom was not born only of age. It was born of loss. Long ago, the Ents and Entwives walked together in harmony, he tending the wild woods, they the gardens and fields. But when war and fire came to the east, the Entwives' lands were burned, and they were lost. Treebeard still speaks of them softly. We lost the Entwives. We believe they went to eastward. That line, half hope, half mourning, tells us everything. The Entwives are gone, and yet not forgotten. Their absence is the quiet wound beneath all his words, the reason he moves slowly, the reason he hesitates to fight. When he looks upon Saruman's ruin of Fangorn, it is as though he sees the death of the Entwives all over again. His grief turns to resolve, and that is the secret of his wisdom. Not power, but remembrance. The slow good that rises, not in anger, but in sorrow that still loves. The march of the Ents is not vengeance. It is lament turned outwards. When they tear down Isengard's walls and flood its pits, Tolkien writes, the Ents made a noise like a rushing wind, a noise of trees bending and cracking in the storm. Treebeard's wrath is grief given shape, justice spoken in the language of root and rain. When Isengard falls silent, Treebeard shows mercy even to Saruman, saying he has no power anymore. He is safe from his own wickedness. Wisdom chooses mercy over domination. Treebeard's patience has changed the world, and yet he returns to quiet watchfulness. He has done his part. He will not rule. Treebeard's slow speech, his memory, his grief, they remind us that wisdom is not speed or strength. It is the ability to remember without bitterness, to act without haste, but never without heart. As he tells the hobbits, I am not altogether on anybody's side, because nobody is altogether on my side. That isn't indifference, it's discernment. True goodness listens longer than it speaks. Thank you for walking with us through Fangorn. Treebeard shows us that the world is not saved by those who shout the loudest, but by those who remember the oldest things. The taste of rain, the sound of growing. If this reflection brought you something still and good, please like, share and subscribe for more journeys through Tolkien's quiet wisdom. And as Treebeard might say, don't be too hasty.